Hello everyone. We will be discussing motivation part 2, and in this we will be continuing with the process theories. So what are process theories? In the earlier slides we have discussed the content theories, and today we will be discussing process theories. So process theories describe the process through which needs are translated into behavior. Someone with a particular need engages in a particular direction, intensity, and persistence of effort to satisfy the need. So basically in process theories, the process is focused upon to achieve the needs of an individual. It emphasizes the nature of the interaction between the individual and the environment. Process theories are Vroom's expectancy theory, Adams' equity theory, Porter's performance satisfaction model, and goal setting theory. So here we are discussing Adams' theory of inequity. The core of this equity theory is the principle of balance or equity. As per this motivation theory, an individual's motivation level is correlated to one's perception of equity, fairness, and justice practiced by the management. So generally in organization what happens is people feel that they are working more but they are receiving less against that, or it may be with the comparison reference that someone else is putting lesser efforts but is receiving more, and you feel like, so generally this is a particular aspect that we always consider our input more and others output less. So equity theory actually focuses on this output and input of individual and the aspects of equity in comparison with others. So if, as we can say in the table, that equity is considered when an individual's output and input is equal to the output and input of the other reference group of comparison. Negative inequity is considered when output or input of an individual is greater than the output and less than the output and input of other person or other comparison reference, and positive inequity is output or input greater than output and input of the comparison other. So who is the referent? As I was using this word, the four comparisons an employee can make have been termed as reference according to Goodman. So Goodman has given this, also shared these terms in this equity theory, and these references are as follows. Self-inside, an employee's experience in a different position inside one's present organization. So when an employee is considering one's own experience in different position, and you are referring to that as comparison. Self-outside is an employee's experience in a situation outside their present organization. So the self is referring to another as comparison to the outside the present organization, and other inside another employee or group of employees inside the employee's present organization, and other outside is another employee or employees outside the employee's present organization. So these four are the reference for comparison. Then there are choices which the employee makes. The employees who perceive inequity and are under negative tension can make the following choices. So basically this is human tendency that whenever we are in the state of inequity or disequilibrium, the individual or the human being always strive to balance that situation to achieve equilibrium. So how does it happen? This we have already discussed in the cognitive dissonance theory, that that kind of conflict is there within, and that tension, every individual tries to resolve that tension. So the same thing is that when negative tension have to be resolved, and an individual can make following choices. And these choices are change in input, change their outcome, any of these can happen. Choose a different referent, quit the job, generally this is considered to be the last choice, change self-perception, change perception of others. So the last two are mostly not tried by individuals because these are somewhat difficult for an individual. So generally what they try for is that they try to change an input or they try to get the change in the outcome. If they feel that my input is more than the referent and so what they will do, either they will put lesser input, or if they feel that their outcome is more but the other person with lesser outcome is rewarded, so what they will do, they will lesser their outcome. So I am giving this example because these are general things which happen in an organization. और you will change a referent कि आपने अपना comparison का point बदल लिया कि you are not comparing with the same person and you are now comparing with different referent. And change of self-perception becomes difficult because it is very difficult for individuals or human beings to accept this, that there is something I can change within, and by changing that within I can change the situation outside. So this is something difficult to believe and then difficult to exercise. So those are the last resorts attempted by any of the individual. Then there are certain assumptions of the equity theory. So what are those assumptions? They are the individuals are concerned both with their own rewards and also with what others get in their comparison. The next assumption is employees expect a fair and equitable return for their contribution to their jobs. Employees decide what their equitable return should be after comparing their inputs and outcomes with those of their colleagues. So this is a very important assumption we need to understand, that what exactly is the fair and equitable return for any employee, and that is decided by comparing with their colleagues' inputs and outcomes. Employees, fourth assumption is employees who perceive themselves as being in inequitable scenario attempt to reduce the inequity. And how it is done? Either by distorting inputs and or outcomes psychologically, or by directly altering inputs or outputs by quitting the organization. So those are four assumptions on which the equity theory works. And here you can see in the picture that inputs may be time, effort, skill set, creativity, and the outcomes may be salary, incentive, fringe benefits, recognition. And equity is equal to equity and balanced state is something which keeps an employee motivated. So coming on to another process theory of Vroom's expectancy theory. There are three important terms in this Vroom's expectancy theory which are core of this theory. So the first term is valence. Valence means value or importance placed on particular reward. So this again, that is subjective, that any employee how much values the importance or for the particular reward assigned to that outcome. The expectancy is belief that effort leads to performance. So this is something what is expected, that if the employee put that amount of effort, then it will lead to certain amount of performance. And instrumentality is belief that performance is related to reward. So all of us know that nobody is doing this charity. Everybody is working for returns against that action. So how this valence, expectancy and instrumentality leads to effort, performance, rewards, and then finally the satisfaction level of the employee. So effort, if we talk about why will effort lead to high performance? So this is the expectancy of every individual while putting in the effort. Then performance. Will this performance lead to outcomes? Means reward or incentives or perhaps something like that. So that performance becomes instrumental in receiving the reward. And then reward, do I find the outcomes desirable? Now what is the reward? So what value does the individual is placing to that? That as it is said that do I find the outcome desirable? If I feel the reward is worth to keep me motivated to put more effort and extra next effort, then that is the value I derive. So that is balance. And then this reward will give you the feedback whether the employee is satisfied or not, and that will eventually lead to next effort. So this is the model of expectancy theory. This theory concentrates on the following three relationships. First is effort performance relationship. What is the likelihood that the individual's effort be recognized in his performance appraisal? So everybody is looking forward to that annual performance appraisal, and they want their efforts to be recognized. Then performance reward relationship. It talks about the extent to which the employee believes that getting a good performance appraisal leads to organizational rewards. So if you are rated good in performance appraisal, then it means that is an underlying meaning that you will receive organizational rewards. And the third relationship is rewards personal goals relationship. It is all about the attractiveness or appeal of the potential reward to the individual. So basically, violence, instrumentality, and expectancy lead to these three different relationships between award performance and rewards. Then, what are the implications of the expectancy theory in the organization for motivating the employees? The managers can correlate the preferred outcomes to the aimed performance levels. The managers can ensure that the employees can achieve the aimed performance levels. The deserving employees rewarded for their exceptional performance. It will definitely keep them motivated. The reward system must be fair and just in an organization. So it means that whatever standards or benchmarks have been set for that particular job and the rewards which have been promised, these all should be genuinely taken care of during performance appraisals, and every performance is judged on those benchmarks, those standards, those parameters. Then organizations to design interesting, dynamic and challenging jobs. So in Herzberg's theory, we have already discussed that there are two types of factors, maintenance factors and motivating factors. So challenging jobs come under work itself. So this certainly motivates individuals to perform, because routine jobs, routine tasks does not keep that kind of effort and focus of those employees. They know what to do. So there is nothing new, creative or innovative in that. Then the employees' motivation levels continually assessed through various techniques such as questionnaire, personal interviews, etc. So that motivation level of individuals need to be assessed, and it should be taken care on a regular basis so that the effort is put in for a better performance and rewards, because that will eventually lead to the effectiveness of the performance and cumulating it towards organizational effectiveness. Then comes the goal setting theory. In 1960s, Edwin Locke put forward the goal setting theory of motivation. So what is this theory? This theory states that goal setting is essentially linked to task performance. Goals give direction to an employee about what needs to be done and how much efforts are required to be put in. So basically in goal setting theory what happens is, first of all you define or fix your goal, and then you start working on a regressive basis, like you go back and then plan according to the requirements of the goal. So there are 5 principles of goal setting theory. First is clarity of goal. You need to have a goal, and all of you might be knowing that goals should always be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time bound. Then that after clarity, the committed action should be there. So whatever you have planned need to be implemented, put into action. If it is not put into action, a plan is simply a piece of paper, and through that you can never be able to achieve the goal. The next step is support system. So all of us are human beings. We say that we are social animals. So it cannot happen that we are able to achieve anything in isolation. We definitely need a support system, and if the support system is strong, you will definitely surely achieve that goal. Fourth principle is focus on progress over perfection. So what happens at times, because we have already discussed that goals are time bound. So we have to take care that the time limits to achieve that, to accomplish that task. So at times what happens is that some individuals indulge into making the task perfect, and that may lead to crossing the deadlines, and ultimately you are not able to achieve the target or goal. So goal setting says that focus on progress. So day after day that you are achieving one task after the another, and you are reaching closer to your goal, rather than focusing on polishing one thing to that extent that rest are left behind. And the fifth principle is flexibility. In between, while monitoring, you may come to know that you are not moving on the right path and you are deviating. So the goal or the plan should be flexible enough that you can make it achieve that goal. So goal setting theory has certain prospects such as self-efficiency. Self-efficiency is the individual's self-confidence and faith that one has potential of performing the task. So you need to, as an employee, you need to have that confidence, that faith in yourself, that you have all the potential to perform that task. That is known as self-efficiency. The higher the level of self-efficiency, greater will be the efforts put in by the individual. Lower the level of self-efficiency, less will be the effort put in by the individual, or one might even quit while meeting challenges. So if you don't believe in yourself, you will not be able to put that effort, because आप ये मान रहे हो कि मैं ये नहीं कर सकती. So if you believe that you can't do, you will not even put the amount of effort required. And the second one is goal commitment. Goal setting theory assumes that the individual is committed to the goal and will not leave the goal. So the goal commitment depends on following factors. Goals are made open, known, and broadcasted. Goals should be set forth by individual rather than designated. Individuals set goals should be consistent with the organizational goals and vision. So all the three things are important. That first of all, what goal has to be achieved should be open and known and disseminated to all concerned. And out of that task, the individuals should decide that who is going to do what, but that the decision should be consistent with the greater goal. Then why are we discussing about motivation? Because effective motivation affects the human behavior at workplace, and that leads to better performance. So effective motivation can happen through linking rewards directly to performance. So how can be done? Having an incentive structure in place doesn't solve the problem. What makes it workable is the employees' trust in the system and believe that they will be rewarded if they perform well. Then compliment employees. So go ahead and compliment that employee for a job well done, no matter how small. So I believe all of us love to receive compliments, but we forget it for the others while giving. So we need to just remember that as much we love to receive compliments, the other person also loves to do the same, and it encourages, it motivates the other person to put in better efforts. Be transparent. While there may be some strategic decisions which you might want to share with the employees at a later stage, make sure employees do not get into rumors. Stay in touch with the employees. Work on your PDP. Every employee is responsible for one's own career. So employees should not look up to organizations, definitely for their career, but yes, organizations plan career, they make career path for the individual, but then to walk the path and to reach the goal is employees' own responsibility. So one should work towards one's personal development plan as discussed and agreed by his manager. Participate in network. Remember, you work for a company where a one-on-one attention might not be possible. So do not wait for an invitation to participate in a discussion. If you are a part of a forum, then you have full right to express your opinion and be a part of the process. But yes, definitely we need to follow the rules or unsaid rules of communication while becoming the part and expressing the opinion. So this is all from this session of motivation. Thank you all. And as the caption says, motivation, it is right inside you. It is you who can derive motivation from within. So thank you and all the best.